In the library, I borrowed a tissue from my roommate, only to find it wrapped around an unknown liquid. My instincts screamed danger, so I took it to the biology department for testing. The results came back, bacterial culture. My roommate, Lin Siue, was devastated, but my adrenaline surged. Mess with me, and you'll face my ruthless revenge. There are countless ways to get even, and going crazy is my specialty. For those of you following along, the full story is now complete. Stay tuned for 10 more finished works every day. Lin Siue, my roommate, was the undisputed campus queen. Sweet and charming, gentle and generous, she excelled in everything. Girls like her are often given shortcuts, but Lin Siue focused solely on graduate school. To maintain a low profile, she wore unfashionable clothes daily, complete with a hat and mask. While this was sensible, it didn't deter the creeps. Throughout our 4 years of college, she encountered countless perverts, stalkers, exhibitionists, and peeping toms. Each time, I stepped in. In our freshman year, I reported a foreign exchange professor for sexual harassment, posting screenshots of his attempts to solicit female students on the campus forum until he was fired. Sophomore year, I accidentally broke the hand of a class president who was getting handsy with her, costing him his internship. Now, he bows his head when he sees me. Last year, as a junior, I staked out an alley near campus for several nights, finally catching an exhibitionist and personally delivering him to the police station. The commendation banner is still hanging in our dorm room. I've been a tough cookie since I was a kid. I learned martial arts and combat from teachers at the orphanage, so I can protect those I care about. Despite my harmless face, once I shed my clothes, I'm an indestructible diamond Barbie. I may be nearly 6 feet tall, but my patience is minuscule. When it comes to revenge, I can barely wait a day. So, last month, when some guy ambushed Lin Siue on her way back to the dorm, I didn't even wait 24 hours. That same night, I called the police, checked the road surveillance at the security center, found his information, and posted his perverted actions on his department's bulletin board. I have countless ways to ruin someone's life. I refuse to be wronged. Over time, my reputation grew. Some said Jing Rujia from the School of Economics and Management was like a rabid dog. Even other dogs would steer clear. While Lin Siue and I were eating in the cafeteria, we ran into Zhou Kuan. That creep, Zhou Kuan, had climbed onto my dorm balcony in the middle of the night last month to steal underwear. I was pulling an all-nighter and caught him red-handed. I shined a spotlight on him and started a live stream on TikTok, which got over 1 million likes. Zhou Kuan became infamous across campus. Look, everyone, I'd said, this is an underwear thief. He dragged his fat body up to the 3rd floor just to steal underwear. That night, he jumped off the balcony in the dark, broke his leg, and is still in a cast, limping. He was so humiliated he wished he could transfer or bury himself in a hole. As they passed us, Lin Siue gave me a look, telling me to ignore him, reminding me there were too many people in the cafeteria and we needed to mind our image. But then Zhou Kuan spat in my direction. I couldn't hold back. I dropped my bowl and grabbed his collar. You wanna spit at me, you underwear king? I emphasized the last 2 words. Students nearby backed away, struggling to suppress their laughter. Zhou Kuan's pockmarked face twitched. You son of a b. Just as I was ready for another fight to loosen up, someone appeared behind Zhou Kuan. It was Ding Yan, the student council president. With his charming smile, he always tried to mediate, never solve problems. He stepped in front of Zhou Kuan, laughing, haha, we're all from the same department. We're graduating soon. Let's just get along. Lin Siue tugged my arm. I glared at Zhou Kuan and said, only for my roommate's sake am I letting you off. Otherwise, you'd regret it. Later, Lin Siue told me Ding Yan and Zhou Kuan were bunkmates. Seriously, how can 2 such different people sleep in the same bed? I asked. Zhou Kuan's a loser, and Ding Yan's a good student. He looked at me with a complex expression but didn't deny it. Sure enough, my words soon came true. One day, while Lin Siue and I were studying in the library, I asked her for a tissue. When I unfolded it, I found a small, sticky, yellowish blob, about the size of a thumbnail, wet and slimy, like a used snot rag. I threw the tissue onto her desk. My dear sister, why are you putting used tissues back in the package? Are you studying so hard you've lost your mind? She followed my gaze to the crumpled tissue. What is that? I didn't blow my nose. I eyed the crumpled tissue on the desk, deep in thought. Just throw it away. It's disgusting. I shook my head, wrapped it in a mask bag, and took it to my friend in the biology department. I worried someone might be trying to infect us with a flu virus or some biological weapon, especially with graduate school exams approaching and fierce competition. When my friend identified it as semen, Lin Ciyue nearly lost it. She gasped, covered her mouth, and collapsed, crying, "Rujia, what should I do? I used half a pack of those tissues." My friend explained that sperm quickly die in dry environments, but the tissue was still somewhat damp, meaning some had survived. This also indicated the tissue had been tampered with recently. I subtly asked a senior on WeChat what would happen if someone used such a tissue in the restroom. There was a remote possibility of pregnancy. Lin Ciyue recalled she'd been sitting in the same library spot for the past 2 weeks, and the tissues had felt a bit uneven lately. Who knows if she'd been exposed before? My head throbbed with anger. Only a pervert's pervert would resort to such a vile trick. Filthy, despicable, a disgrace to humanity, right? Fine, she messed with the right person. I'm not afraid to go crazy. To be safe, I went to the campus health clinic and got Lin Ciyue a pregnancy test and emergency contraception. The male doctor casually remarked, "Why don't girls learn to take care of themselves? This medicine is very harmful to the body." What he didn't know was how to be polite in this filthy world. If men want to do something to women, they have countless ways, but if women want to fight back, they face not just harm, but sometimes even death. His casual remark about self-love was a joke to all the girls on campus. I said, "Instead of women protecting themselves, maybe you should put more sex education posters on your bulletin board to teach male students to control themselves. And more importantly than sex education is moral education." I left him with this: men who lack morals only harm themselves. I hope they don't bring about their own destruction. The male doctor's face turned ashen. As I left, I glared at him. "What are you looking at? My name is Jing Rujia. If you have a problem, feel free to report me." Lin Ciyue hadn't tested positive for pregnancy yet, but she'd vomited enough for a lifetime. This whole situation was infuriating. If it were me, I wouldn't just vomit. I'd douse myself in disinfectant. With graduate exams approaching, Lin Ciyue didn't want to blow this humiliating prank out of proportion. She begged me not to call the police. "How else can we handle this?" I asked. "We don't have the authority to access the library's surveillance footage. Don't you want to find out who did this?" No, she said. "Let's just focus on the exams." "You're just scared," I retorted. "I don't care." I grabbed my phone to call 911. After all, identifying the perpetrator was crucial for DNA analysis. Lin Ciyue grabbed my wrist. "Please, don't call the police. My advisor can't contact my parents. My dad works out of state, and my mom is in the hospital. I can't imagine what would happen if they found out I went through something so dirty. The last time I called the police, it was already too much for them." I clenched my fists. "Then what do you want? To let him off?" She wiped her tears. "I want to focus on my graduate exams. I'm afraid I won't get in, afraid I won't change my life. I want to get into a big city, study for my master's, and be with my mom while she gets treatment." "Rujia, please." Lin Ciyue was too kind. Every time someone bullied her, she'd stay silent. The guy probably knew she wouldn't speak up, which is why he targeted her. Since she said all that, what could I do? I spat. "Letting him go will only create more victims. I will find him and personally sterilize him." Without police authorization, the library refused to release surveillance footage. Since I didn't know if the attack was targeted or random, I could only stake out Lin Ciyue's usual spot. After 2 frustrating days, I actually caught the pervert on camera, but he looked familiar. He was loitering around Lin Ciyue's seat, and when no one was looking, he pocketed a tissue from the desk. I zoomed in. Holy crap, it was Ding Yan, Zhou Kuan's goody two-shoes bunkmate. He looked innocent and gentle, like a warm-hearted guy. I never expected him to be such a scumbag. When Lin Ciyue found out it was him, she didn't seem shocked, but she repeatedly told me to let it go. "I told you, I'll handle this. You don't need to worry, just keep studying." But, what but? After I pressed her repeatedly, Lin Ciyue finally told me the truth. She'd known Ding Yan was bad news for a while. Last month, Ding Yan had pursued her, and she'd rejected him. Afterward, he sent her some compromising photos. He took pictures of me changing backstage during a dance performance. She said, "They show my face." He threatened me to go to a hotel. I told him I was on my period, and that's how I escaped. He recently asked me out again. I watched Lin Cue about to cry and quickly comforted her. It's okay, I'm here. I'll help you fix this. How will you fix it? She asked. He's the dean's son, and his advisor is his uncle. When did he ask you out recently? Show me his messages. Lin Cue clutched her phone behind her, backing away. No, don't. I scolded her, shaking my head. Don't be stupid. In her tear-filled eyes, I saw her hesitation and fear, the deep helplessness of an ordinary girl. What good would hiding it do? I snatched her phone and opened her chat history with Ding Yan. Certain hotel, certain room number, Saturday night, 7 o'clock. Don't be late. If you tell anyone, your photos will leak. I cursed under my breath. Today was Saturday. If I hadn't asked, she would have said nothing. Don't you trust me? How were you going to handle this? Were you planning to go? She reacted defensively. Of course not. I wasn't. I didn't let Lin Cue go. I went instead. I had my video and audio recording on the whole time. I didn't believe that creep, Ding Yan, who was shorter than me, could do anything to me. Lin Cue had previously applied for a stun gun, and she slipped it into my bag. Protect yourself, she said. If I don't hear from you by 8, I'll call the police. I understood her concern. I'm just messing with you. Why so serious? Lin Cue actually blamed me. He's a dangerous person. He has connections and many tricks. Don't underestimate him. Of course, I didn't underestimate him. Someone who could install a camera backstage at a performance clearly wasn't afraid to spend money to commit perverted acts. This time, I'd gone all out too. Recording devices and cameras are expensive. If I didn't catch some X-rated stuff, it would be a huge loss. I knocked on the hotel room door. The door opened a crack, and I saw that plaster cast. My gut told me something was off. It was Zhou Kuan. Were there 2 of them? Crap. Good thing I stopped Lin Cue in time, or the consequences would have been unthinkable. Zhou Kuan's face changed drastically. He immediately tried to close the door. I kicked it open. Underwear King, what are you doing here? He lost his balance and fell to the floor. A voice from inside asked, Kunzi, what's going on? So noisy. I pulled out a collapsible baton from my bag and landed a solid blow on Zhou Kuan's other good leg. I peered inside. Yan, bro, run. It's Xingrujia. Ding Yan came out, wrapped in a towel. Seeing me, he was startled. Then, realizing he'd been exposed, he sneered. Lin Cue sent you, didn't she? He eyed me. Your figure isn't bad either. My ass, I retorted. You should find out who I am first. I launched a flying roundhouse kick. Ding Yan reacted and dodged, but his towel fell off. OMG, my eyes. I swear I'd never seen such a tiny bird in my life. It was smaller than a peanut, a blur, then gone. He probably felt humiliated and picked up his towel, hiding in the bathroom and locking the door. I kicked the door 3 times but couldn't open it. A hotel employee heard the commotion and came over, which probably prevented a bigger fight. I grabbed Zhou Kuan by the collar and taunted him. Listen up, both of you. No matter whose idea this was, or who started it, you're both going down. If you dare lay another hand on my roommate, I'll post videos of your pathetic, crapping your pants selves. Got it? Zhou Kuan's ugly face contorted. You bitch. Oh, you can curse now? I hit his bad leg again. Amidst his screams, the hotel employee escorted me out. I quietly told the employee, did you see that? They were doing a pie transaction. You should probably call the police and have them arrested. Lin Cue watched the video from the tiny camera on my chest, torn between crying and laughing. I can't believe something so small could be so messed up, I said. Its functions probably aren't even fully developed. Unbelievable. I immediately took a screenshot and sent it to Lin Cue's WhatsApp. Why are you sending this to me? I don't want to see it. It's disgusting. Didn't he threaten you with compromising photos? If he keeps bothering you, just fight back the same way. This one has his face too. If all else fails, I still have the video. I thought that by having this solid leverage, the matter would quickly be resolved. After all, Ding Yan was outwardly a good boy, and he was even up for academic awards and an internship. But that scumbag wasn't quiet at all. He actually reported me to the advisor for assault, betting that I wouldn't reveal the whole story due to Lin Cue's reputation. Assuming I feared a mutual destruction, what could I say? The advisor was his uncle. The old man pointed his finger at me, shouting, Xingrujia, this isn't the first time you've done something like this, is it? Zhou Kuan and the others haven't provoked you before either. They just went to the hotel to watch a free movie and then they bothered you. What? I interrupted. Xingrujia. I'm warning you. You've seriously violated discipline. Especially Zhou Kuan's leg. If it's later determined to be a disability, you'll be seriously punished. Disability? I think they're brain damaged. Are you going to admit your mistake or not? I laughed, exasperated. And what about you, sir? Do you admit to the mistake of reselling public equipment? Last year, I'd heard him on the phone in his office, reconciling accounts, saying it was an illegal operation and shouldn't be leaked. I immediately made a mental note. The old man stammered, looking guilty. This. Assaulting people is wrong. Go back. Reflect properly. Don't do it again next time. I rolled my eyes at him. I respect you as my teacher. But if you turn a blind eye and only help your relatives instead of doing what's right, then I won't keep quiet about what I know. At least issue a public reprimand to correct their behavior. A public reprimand was indeed issued. Everyone speculated about what conduct issues Zhou Kuan and Ding Yan had committed. I secretly spread the rumor that they had rented a hotel room off campus. Soon, this became campus gossip. The recent chain of events had affected several people. I had stirred up trouble. Several professors started giving me a hard time one after another. One time, I was 4 minutes late for class, and they said they'd deduct points from my participation grade. And the gossip was that despite the reprimand, the student council president's graduate school admission was still on track. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. I used my real name as my ID on the campus forum. One night, I received a private message from a freshman girl. She said, "Sister, can you help me? I think someone took pictures of me in the library. I'm sure, right outside the women's restroom. That guy's phone fell under my skirt, and when he picked it up, I saw his camera was on." I sighed. TSK. There have been a lot of perverts lately. Do you remember what that guy looked like? I know him. He's Ding Yan, the senior student council president from the School of Economics and Management. He seems to have a lot of misconduct issues recently. I want to report him too. I added this girl on WhatsApp, and found out she was Yizi, one of the 4 campus beauties and a sophomore. She said, "I always thought Ding Yan wasn't as simple as he seemed. The things he does are really disgusting." You're right, I said. I found Wang Jin, who had previously tried to grope Lin Siyue, and asked him to get Ding Yan's phone from his dorm. Wang Jin pleaded, "I can't, he'll kill me. If you don't go, you'll die by my hand." I said, "Be smart, pick one." That night, Wang Jin handed me the phone with both hands. The pattern lock. He mumbled reluctantly, "You're not doing anything illegal, are you?" "I'm fighting illegal activity, damn it." I spent the whole night examining the phone and found a lot of useful information. The next day was the graduate exam. Lin Siyue and I rushed to the test center. We had enough time, and even though I hadn't studied much, I still had a chance to pass. But then, a motorcycle thief suddenly appeared and snatched my backpack. My ID and admission ticket were gone. I missed the exam. I received an unknown call from Ding Yan. His voice was sinister. "My phone's with you. I've activated its location." I was furious. "Did you have someone steal my ID and admission ticket so I couldn't take the exam? If you want it back, come to the equipment room alone at 5 p.m. Exchange it for my phone, otherwise, we'll both go down." I immediately reported my exam situation to the advisor. "Your nephew used dirty tricks to prevent me from taking the exam, stealing my ID and admission ticket, and now he wants me to pick them up at the equipment room. Should I go?" I also played a voice recording of the call. He cleared his throat. "You're always causing trouble for me. Just tell me if you're going to fix it or not." I waited all day and didn't get a single reply. Good thing I didn't expect him to actually help. I only hoped he would complain to Ding Yan's father, the dean. While waiting for a reply, Lin Siyue said she received a website link. A video of her changing clothes had been posted on some small website with the title, "Campus Beauty's Sizzling Figure." Brothers, go ahead and hit it. My heart tightened. I immediately reported it to the cyber police platform. Everyone knew who did it. Ding Yan urged, "Are you here?" "Waiting for you." I shoved the stun gun and a fruit knife into my crossbody bag. Mutually assured destruction. Huh? I'd like to see who goes down first. The moment I stepped into the equipment room, Ding Yan grabbed me by the throat. His expression was savage, as if he wanted to devour me. "Give me my phone." He wasn't pretending anymore. I admit, his stance was a bit intimidating. But I've seen a lot. I've been close to death many times in my life. At 3, my biological parents abandoned me in a university. At 5, I had a sudden heart attack. At 7, I caught a major flu and had a fever for a month. At 14, in middle school, someone dragged me into a utility room, held a knife to my throat, and told me to take off my pants. I once thought my fate was tragic, but when I was about to be assaulted, I fought off that jerk with my own strength and gave him a huge gash. From then on, I realized I could control my own destiny. I've studied martial arts for 8 years. If one punch doesn't take down a thug, 3 will. That's my minimum standard for myself. The moment his hand clasped my throat, I already had my counterattack planned. I shook my head hard to distract him. Let me go. What phone are you talking about? You think I'd believe you? Joe Kuan appeared. He still had his cast on. I didn't understand why this guy kept bothering me. A capable person can take on 3, but they were 2 against 1. Joe Kuan's hand groped around my side, his forehead veins bulging, looking fierce and disgusting. I felt Ding Yan's grip on my throat weaken. Was he getting tired? My crossbody bag was yanked open by Joe Kuan and thrown aside. The stun gun and fruit knife rolled out. Ding Yan's face darkened when he saw them. He sneered, I heard you could fight barehanded. Why do you need these? I was annoyed. I simply kicked him in his pathetic little thing while elbowing his chin. I tripped Ding Yan. Joe Kuan, knocked over by Ding Yan, immediately rolled onto the floor again. I picked up the stun gun and zapped them both 5, 6, 7, 8 times. This, mother****, is called an extension of my organs, I said, otherwise known as an assist. Ding Yan grunted, sprawled on the floor. I stepped on his back. Is this all you've got? Coming out here trying to fool young girls? Sister isn't someone you can mess with. I found 2 zip ties they had prepared earlier and bound their hands behind them to chairs. I stuffed their stinky socks into their mouths. I took off my jacket, revealing my biceps. See that? I asked. Do you 2 losers have any? Guess what else I have in my hand? I pulled out my phone and played the video I had recorded earlier, blasting it openly. Ding Yan's face flushed with rage. I took a few more handsome photos of his face. I made a 7 gesture. Joe Kuan, it's only this big. Wow. What's so great about Ding Yan that you're so devoted to him? Is it satisfying? At that moment, the great father called his son. I answered Ding Yan's phone and put it on speaker. The first thing his father said was, damn, I've messed up. How can I have such a useless son? You have the guts to do it, but not the ability to finish it. The second thing, speak. What leverage does that bitch have on you? The third thing, how do you want me to resolve this? Take care of her. Oh, I'm a little scared, I said. Take care of me? How do you want to do that? I cleared my throat. Dean, this is Jing Rujia, not your son. The call didn't hang up, but the other side went silent. I continued. I pretty much know everything your son has done. I have no other demands here. I don't want money, and I don't want people. What do you want? He asked. I want you to live lives that aren't human. I let out a loud, maniacal laugh. Ding Yan grunted helplessly. Lindsay US sent me a message. She had hired a computer science student to crack Ding Yan's phone accounts, passwords, and cloud data for various apps. There are so many photos in his cloud drive, she said. He also had financial transactions with his professors. No wonder his GPA was so high. Holy crap, I thought. He got into graduate school by paying his dad. It turned out someone had said his dad took professors from Peking University out to dinner was true. And his grandfather was actually a big shot in our area. How many hidden cameras does he have? Rujie? Look at this. Lin Cus sent a screenshot. It was a conversation between Ding Yan and Zhou Kuan from a month ago. Zhou Kuan said, only 2 of the 4 campus beauties have been taken care of. It's such a pity to be so repressed. We should at least get all of them and have a threesome. Ding Yan, I didn't realize you had such peculiar tastes. Brother Yan, don't say you don't mean it. Tell me, what's your plan? It's simple, Ding Yan replied. Women care about their reputation. Just leak some compromising photos, and they'll all cave. Zhou Kuan sent a disgusting emoji that I won't describe. Definitely. Brother Yan, 7 inches. Whoever's bigger goes first. Haha, I laughed. 7 inches? He dares to brag about that? Didn't Zhou Kuan, who lived with him for 4 years, know how big Ding Yan actually was? I finally understood. For people like Ding Yan, their vanity and self-esteem were directly proportional. Even if he couldn't get the woman he wanted, He'd still resort to dirty tricks to disgust her. A mental victory. How could he expose his own tiny tool to others? I casually pulled down Joe Kuhn's pants and took a bunch of photos. Holy crap. The truth was shocking. How was he even smaller than Ding Yan? So that's why he admired Ding Yan. I was dying of laughter. I slapped Ding Yan's face twice. Tell me, where did you originally keep those things you filmed? Cloud drive or computer? Are there any copies? Which websites did you post them to? How many female victims are there in total? If you miss one, I'll beat you to death. After Lin Siyue finished transferring all the transferable data, she wiped Ding Yan's phone clean and had Wang Jin return it to Ding Yan's dorm. The advisor kept bombarding me with calls. I asked, did you get the message I was waiting for? He practically begged, my little ancestor, please let Ding Yan go. Otherwise, we'll all die. What's all this talk about dying? I said, it's not that easy to die. Ordinary people. I kicked Ding Yan and his chair over. If I let him go, will anyone let us go? Ding Yan showed no sign of weakness. I could see his malicious curses in his eyes. You scumbag, you still want to go to graduate school? Dream on. If you don't beg for mercy today, I'll definitely post your compromising photos in your class group chat. And all the disgusting things you've done, along with your dad's. I'll send them all to your grandfather. Do you think he'll be pleased? I pulled the towel out of his mouth and continued slapping his face. Are you begging for mercy? Begging? Begging? Ding Yan's handsome face quickly swelled into a pig's head. He snarled, trying to struggle and headbutt me, but I dodged. I pulled out a tissue and blew a huge wad of snot into it. You disgusting dog, I said. Do you know what an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth means? I stuffed the snotty tissue into his mouth. Now you know, don't you? You're the founder of the tissue trick. I smiled at him. Today, I'll make sure you eat your fill. Zhou Kun glared at me. I blew another wad of snot and shoved it into his mouth too. The advisor arrived just in time to rescue them because I had mentioned the equipment room earlier. I flashed my ID at him. I'm here to get my ID and admission ticket. Absolutely true. What did you do to them? I chuckled. Nothing much, just self-defense. The sound of fighting came from not far away. Ding Yan seemed to be taking his anger out on the advisor. But what did that have to do with me? I found Ding Yan's other two innocent roommates. How much do you know about what Ding Yan and Zhou Kun did? I asked. I warned them to tell the truth, or my fists wouldn't recognize anyone. We really don't know, they cried. Alas, these people don't listen to reason or warnings. They force my hand. Soon, they were on the floor with their hands up. Zhou Kun's degree was bought. His scores weren't enough for a bachelor's degree at all. Ding Yan cheated on exams. That certain person was his ghostwriter, always passing him cheat sheets. They even hired people to fight. Before, there was a guy who messed with him, and his ribs were broken in several places. I was beaten by him too. These two kids were quite miserable. Send me the substantial evidence to my phone, I said. I already knew Ding Yan would retaliate, but I didn't expect him to retaliate so foolishly, and so quickly. According to rumors, a group of 7 or 8 thugs he hired surrounded me on my way back to the dorm. Thugs were probably just weak, sickly male college students. Not every man in black has good fighting skills like my master. It was truly an insult to black clothes. I rubbed my hands together. You guys are really unlucky today. You ran into a trashy boss. Do you know how pathetic he is? Pathetic and small. Truly pitiful. Man after man. They were knocked down by me as if they hadn't eaten. A few girls passing by stopped, scared, and started recording with their phones. It looks like Xing Rujia is fighting again. Her legs are so long and fast. I pressed one man's head down. Tell me your boss's name. No, I don't know the contact information, he stammered. Give me your phone. He shakily pulled out his phone. The most recent calls were all from Ding Yan's number. So stupid. Phone numbers are all registered under real names now. I just contributed to the police department's workload again. Before editing the video, I specifically went to the university administrative building for material. Late at night, I started tearing open the dean's suggestion box. It was piled high with letters, some even 3 years old. The complaints varied wildly, and not a single one had received a public response. It just goes to show that the Dean family, father and son, shared the same traits. I compiled everything that had happened recently into a highly effective, explanatory video. The girls involved were blurred beyond recognition. I first sent the compressed file to all the leaders' public mailboxes. I didn't believe they wouldn't even deal with emails promptly. That same day, I received a call from Ding Yan's mother. Please let my son go, she pleaded. He's young and naive, give him a chance, and he'll definitely change. I ignored her, asking, can this be resolved with $10 million? Now, I had new material for my video. I posted the link to the newly edited video on a campus dating website with the attention-grabbing title, Shocking, Adult Ding Ding Can Be So Small. Within a day, it exploded among young people, with over 80,000 downloads in 24 hours. The audience's emotions were a roller coaster, from curiosity to anger to shock. Everyone, look, the video declared, this man is Mr. Ding. He has the smallest ding ding in the world. While reality is rather harsh, his ambitions are incredibly full. He has an admirable method of reproduction. One day, he came to the library, stole a tissue from a female student, and dropped his phone under a girl's skirt. What's truly hilarious is that for these two, I only hit them by the book. Anyone who's seen her can recognize her. And it's even funnier, after the beating, that thing became even harder to see. The first people to recognize them were our classmates. The previously silent class group chat exploded. 99 plus messages in a minute. Holy crap, the student council president's reputation is ruined. What shocking reproductive urges. What do? I used to have a crush on Ding Yan. Stay away from men, live a peaceful life. Help, I need to wash my eyes. So small and disgusting. First time I've felt ashamed of my alma mater. Same here, the whole school's reputation is tarnished. I heard Jing Rujia made the video. She's really something, even daring to take on the dean. She's done a lot of things. I have to admit, she's a mad dog. I, myself, posted in the group, I'll beat up anyone I don't like. The students quickly fell silent. Netizen comments grew even crazier. If you want to put that in a pile of peanuts, you'd need a magnifying glass. Damn, I can never look at peanuts the same way again. Seeking recommendations for safe and reliable tissues. I'm a college student. Should I just avoid the library entirely? The dorm is the safest place. Adding one more to the afraid of men list. I'm willing to be a vegetarian for life to stay safe. Now everyone around me looks like a pervert. Even my little brother. Starting today, I'm cultivating 100 mental layers to protect myself. Can we get group discounts on anti-pervert tools? No need for the uploader to lower the price. During those intense days, Lin Cue thanked me. When you're by my side, I feel the infinite power of women. I replied, of course, you can be powerful too. Yeezy suggested, perhaps next time we can do a special interview, combining our personal experiences to teach our sisters how to avoid jerks. I asked, aren't you afraid of what Lin Cue fears? Other people's opinions, other people's judgment? They exchanged glances, a mutual understanding passing between them. Victims shouldn't feel ashamed, Yeezy said, taking a deep breath. Starting now, we fight together. We won't be afraid no matter what. I'll sue them for their peeping, Yeezy declared. What about you? Okay, I'll sue too, Lin Cue decided. I was truly moved to tears by the rise of female solidarity. Lin Cue and I quickly began preparing for our second attempt at graduate school exams. However, the impact of their actions was too widespread, exceeding what the police could handle. Special personnel were dispatched from higher up to intervene. The advisor and the dean were the first to be dismissed. Ding Yan's graduate school admission and internship qualifications were directly revoked. His grandfather was under investigation. They certainly wanted to reconcile with us, but everyone involved unanimously and firmly refused. Before graduation, we saw Ding Yan once. His looks were gone. He was thin as a skeleton. I guessed that thing of his would shrink too, becoming even smaller, possibly negative. His mother helped him with his leave of absence papers. She cried tears of old age. You ruined my son so badly. You'll get your comeuppance. I sneered. Karma will definitely fall on your son and husband first. As for us, we'll see who outlasts whom. Ding Yan gritted his teeth. I saw the hatred in his eyes. He probably thought he was terribly unlucky. He probably regretted bragging to his friends, only to be defeated by a woman like me. I raised my fist. What are you looking at? Be careful, or I'll gouge them out. Sister earns her living with her fists. Later, we heard Ding Yan was sentenced to 10 years, and Zhou Kun to 3. We were all very surprised. It turned out Ding Yan had victimized other girls in high school. If it weren't for this incident escalating in college, that girl might never have dared to stand up for herself. Now, everyone breathed a sigh of relief. It felt like we were temporarily safe. After all these experiences, I was filled with emotion. There is no inherent safety in the world. So-called safety is something you fight for yourself. Girls must be brave enough to stand up for themselves. On graduation day, a new freshman girl suddenly found me. She cried as she said, "Sister Zheng, I know you were the one who posted that video. Can you help me? I've also had bad experiences. Now, I can only trust you." Listening to her story, I suddenly felt the burden on my shoulders grow heavier. There are so many scumbags in this world that need to be eliminated, so many ugly masks that need to be torn off. And I'm not just a lunatic. I have to be a heroine too. Extending a helping hand to the weak is Dean Zhang's ideal, and it's my ideal too.